What's up, people? Mom Vernon Kid here coming to you. Uh, Apologize, guys, for not giving you my comic review for last week's books on time. Uh, didn't get to finish reading them, and you know, but I'm here to deliver anyway for you guys. Okay? So I got a good list for you, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I did enjoy reading it. One thing I'm definitely going to let you know right now is I didn't get Green Lantern #1. Fortunately, I didn't get it. There was a mishap, and I forgot to get it or so. So I'm gonna let that. But I'll get it anyway, no matter what. But I still got books for you to cover, and we're gonna go from independent to DC to Marvel. Okay, so let's kick it off, shall we? With uh, Starborn #10. Uh, this basically in this now. Benjamin, the main character, has found out now that his family, all about his family. His father was this big tyrant that ruled over the galaxy in another galaxy with an iron fist. But he's returned back to Earth because he needs more answers. However, the opposing aliens that were ruled by his father have come now to annihilate Earth. And this is all leading up now to the big crossover between Starborn, Soldier Zero, and the Traveler. So the big three superheroes of the, I guess you could call it the Boom universe, are going to meet soon. But it was good nonetheless. Chris Robertson did a pretty decent job writing this. But as always, as I always say, if you're really interested in, all the three books, I would suggest reading them in trade, because sometimes I know people don't like to play catch up. But it's still good. Okay, so we're gonna move on to DC. And what were the books that the kid got from DC last week? All right, first off, we're gonna start with Batwoman #1. J.H. Williams III did a really good job. Being that I'm not that high on Batwoman, it has nothing to do with her sexual orientation, anything like that. It just that when I was reading the 52 book and she was in it, I was just like, oh well, we got another Bat character, but I was really impressed by this book. This is a really good, down-to-earth, good thriller, basically. We get to see a lot of interaction between Kane and Betty, her cousin, and they do keep some continuity, saying that Betty was Flamebird, and she was a part of the Teen Titans, and things like that. Uh, it was very interesting. I'm on board with. I'm very much invested in this book now, because this was a book I really wasn't going to pick up, but I decided to give it a chance, and here it is. It's good stuff. All right, next up for DC that I picked up, my man Cole Cash. Oh yeah, Grifter #1. Man, what a mind-bending twist and turn book that we get in this. Wow, Cole is just sucked into hell, basically, from the get-go. Right from the beginning, it's action-packed, suspense twists and turns. It's like, are the Demonites real? Are they not real? Is he hearing voices in his head? Or is he just crazy? Things like that. And we start to realize why he is going to be the most wanted man in the DC universe, in this new DC universe. And he's become so dangerous or wanted that the government has sent his own brother to take him out. That's crazy right there. But yeah, dun dun dun. Yeah, his own brother. They want him dealt with. And it's also to test his brother. Are you serving you serve the country or do you serve your family? But it was good. It was good. I really enjoyed this. As you all know, guys, I'm a big fan of the Wildcats. Grifter, Zealot, and Warblade were my favorites. I have respect for all the other Wildcats, but those three were my favorites. And I'm glad to see Grifter get his own book. All right. Next up, I have for you is another one of my favorite DC heroes, and I was glad to see him get his own title. Mr. T, I pity the fool. No, not that Mr. T. Mr. Terrific. Michael Holt is in the house. For all those that were kind of like, it wasn't that good to me, I enjoyed this book. My opinion was, I enjoyed this. Very good introduction to Mr. Terrific in this book. The only problem I have with it is still getting used to this damn costume. I miss the black, white, red. They did change Mr. Terrific's origin a little bit. Like, they still kept his wife died, his unborn child died, everything like that. But they twisted how he became Mr. Terrific. And instead of the Spectre being involved with it, they had some other phenomenon. And I'm not going to spoil it for you, even though this book is a week over. But I really enjoyed it. DC has said they really are going to work on establishing Mr. Terrific with his own rogues gallery. Thank you. Good job on that. And his first major villain to come up is a guy called Mindstorm. Cool. The funniest thing about this book is they do play up the fact that, the third smartest man in the universe and in the DC universe. And they play that up. And there was one time in the book he was in London and he says it to one of the people and he's like, so who's the first? Who's the second? Are you happy that you're the third? It was funny. Now, Power Girl Karen is in this book. Now I'm on the defense if is that really Karen or is it just a girl calling herself Karen? But if it is, thank you DC for putting her in there. But they're just friends. There's nothing going on between them. But it was still good. Mr. Terrific #1 was good in my opinion. Okay, like I said, I couldn't get Green Lantern. Gotta wait to get it. But I did pick up Red Lanterns. Yeah, Atrocitus and his boys. One of my favorite artists, Ed Benz, does beautiful artwork on this. I was very happy. If there was any of the other Lantern Corps that deserved a book, it's the Red Lanterns. And this book was great. I loved it. I loved the monologues between Atrocitus when he's talking to a dead Krona. They were just really driven based. I was loving that. Just seeing how he became the way he is now was like, oh, god damn, it was good stuff. Just a lot of good things to say about this book, and I don't want to spoil it. That's the problem. But it was really very character driven. That's what I'll use. Very character driven. And even though it kind of focused more on Atrocitus in most of the book, it's really good. I really enjoyed it. Very much. I wonder what you guys thought of Red Lanterns. But I, for one, loved it. Alright. So that's pretty much the DC books that I had. I was supposed to be, like I said, Green Lantern. I gotta wait to get it again. But we move on to Marvel now. The rest are all Marvel. So we kick it off with my boy, Peter Parker, aka Spidey. Issue 669. This is part 3 of Spider Island. The wheels are starting to turn now in the whole Spider Island. It's no longer fun anymore. We now realize the gist of how the people of New York City have gained spider powers. It has something to do with genetically altered bed bugs. Yes, bed bugs. You know, little creepy bugs that be in the beds and they bite you at night. That's what happened to the people of New York. And the shit hits the fan. Literally. We see there was more of a master plan involved in this now. Uh, Things ain't like it used to be. It's not all happy-go-lucky anymore. We see the mastermind behind the whole thing now. She's a female. Um, and it was great to see also a lot of classic Spidey characters like Chance. I was like, holy shit, man, I haven't seen Chance in years. It was funny to see Carly in this with Peter. And the best thing I like about Spidey now with his web shooters, he's got voice activated commands now. Like he can control, like he can say like uh, left web shooter, web barrage, and Carly's like, how come mine can't do that? It was funny. Stuff like that was really funny. The other thing that amazes me is the fact that Mary Jane is, I think, probably the only non-human person in New York City that doesn't have spider powers. But other than that, poor everybody after the shit hits the fan. But it was really good, nonetheless. Dan Slott, good job, bro. Alrighty then, and we move on to the writing duo of Fred Van Lint and Greg Pak. Greg Eaglehands draws this book, and this is Alpha Flight number 4 of 8. Their maxi series, 4 more to go before. Yes, they're getting an ongoing series. Thank you, Marvel. The team is on the run, still on the run from what is going on in their native land, native country, Canada. They're the enemy in some way. It's all about fear, you know, and they realize who's the traitor. As I told you before last time, um, Heather Hudson is the traitor, and that's kind of bad to see that. It's really bad for first personally for Guardian to see his own wife is the traitor, and she feels that, you know, she can't do this no more if she can't have her daughter with her. And they were going to the United States to lead up with Wolverine, but then they decided that their country needs them. Very patriotic, in my opinion. But this was really good. Can't wait to see how this ends, really. But if you have been reading Alpha Flight, like I have, check it out. Still really good. All right. And David List on Black Panther, Man Without Fear, number 523. This wraps up the end story arc between the American Panther and Hate Monger. This was really good because basically David List made it like the American Panther, who is pretty much this anti-immigrant member, is basically like, you know, like he was on par with T'Challa, but we see otherwise it's not. It was really good. I love the fact how T'Challa was able to exorcise the evil spirit of Hate Monger from this total stranger. But it was really good nonetheless. This is the last book where it's going to be called Black Panther, Man Without Fear. It's going to be turned to Black Panther, World's Most Dangerous Man Alive, or something like that soon. But it was good. But it realizes that, I will spoil this, we realize that the American Panther will be back. But it was, nonetheless, it was good.